Hello everyone, welcome to What If Issei Was Cheated by Girls and Gets Meliodas Powers with Ddraig Part 2. Before we start, please go support ZykxDragon for writing that awesome fanfic. This is the translated version I made. There will be some wrong he or she calling here because it's translated, so let me clear this. Issei is a male in this story. The potential of a dragon. Everyone was surprised to see the gauntlet that looked a lot like Issei's, only this one had a blue gem. Is that the booster gear? Surprised and scared that she might lose Issei. Asia. It looks a lot like it, but I doubt it is since that thing is attached to her body sitting in an armchair like the pieces that weren't fighting yet. So, what is that thing? I can tell you, beautiful. Riaz felt an arm go around her waist and someone whisper in her ear. She turned to see, and it was Issei who was sitting between her and Asia, who, seeing that it was him, clung to him as if she didn't want him to leave. Issei. Leo is my eldest son, but he is not like his other brothers. What makes him different? Leaning on our protagonist's chest just like Asia, causing Issei's fiancés to look at her angrily. Issei. He has a lot of magic, so much that it is difficult for him to handle it, so with the help of Draig's son, he can handle his energy well. Just look. Leo looked at Kira as little by little half of his body began to emit blood-red flames. Hey brother, should we show him all our power? Said a voice coming from the gauntlet. Leo. No, that will be our ace up our sleeve, so we will only face it this way. Kira began to growl and his form changed, showing what would be a werewolf, but of a small size. Leo without flinching charged towards him to hit him in the chin, then he kicked him in the chest, throwing him to one of the walls. Before he could get out, Leo hit him again several times, but before he gave another blow, the wolf boy stopped his fist and hit him in the face. Kira. I think I underestimated you, idiot, lighting his fists in blue flames, but I will show you what I am capable of. The boy tried to hit him, but Leo dodged him, and so they got into a hand-to-hand fight where the advantage was seen by the dragon boy because his training was paying off, but he noticed that the fire that the wolf boy had in his hands burned a lot. With a kick they separated, and he tried to put out the fire that he had on his clothes, but it wouldn't go out. The only option he had was to take off his shirt, revealing his body, which made Kunio blush. When he threw his shirt, it was consumed by fire, while Kira watched him smiling. Kira. You almost missed it, shorty, that fire is impossible to put out, only I can do it. Leo. Dramat, we will go with everything, so get ready. Dramat. Understood brother, let's handle the power of the elements. In Leo's other hand another gauntlet appeared, but this one was blue and had a green gem in the palm, and from that half came ice and from the other fire, as well as a powerful wind that was contained by a barrier, and the ground cracked. Riaz. What the hell is going on? How can he do that? She said, surprised. Issei. That is my son's power. Thanks to the power that Draig's son has, he can control his energy and not get out of control, as well as he can do magical and physical attacks perfectly, so practically your piece has just lost. Kira got nervous and would also go all out. His body began to change, his fur became darker, his claws grew. On the back of his head, a large blue flame came out that looked like part of his hair. His arms were also covered in this element. The entire stadium was silent, waiting for the next move, and as if it were a flash they both began to fight. Everyone in the arena was shocked by the power level of both boys. The ground cracked more and more until pieces of earth began to rise. At least both competitors were seen punching each other at the same time, thus ending up on different sides of the arena. Leo. Dramat, we will give the last attack to end this. Dramat. Do you want to use that face? If you use it, all my energy will run out and we will no longer be able to use magic properly. Leo. Well, I'll have to take my chances, brother. I can't let him leave like that when I insult dragons and talk about Kunio. Dramat. Well, let's activate it, power of infinite anger. The green armor surrounded Leo's body. The armor had scales that made it look like the skin of a dragon. A tail with spikes came out of his lower back. His helmet was similar to his father's. The arms of the armor opened, resembling cannons. The chest also began to shine. Kira. I'll destroy you, damn it. From the wolf boy's mouth appeared a large black magic circle that also shone. Leo. Dramat. Shot of Anger. Kira. Wolf Roar. Both attacks collided with each other, blinding almost everyone due to the flash of energy they emitted. After an explosion, the arena filled with smoke. When it slowly cleared, Leo and Kira were seen with a fist in each other's cheeks. Both had their clothes in tatters, burns, bruises, cuts, and broken bones. Then Kira fell silent as she disappeared into fragments of light. Rafia. The winner of the match is Leo Dragon. Everyone burst into applause towards the dragon boy, who also fell to the ground tired from the battle. Issei. I told you that you had lost this meeting, Precious, brushing his lips with hers. I think it's time for the next meeting, disappearing to appear under Kaneko, who was sitting on his legs while she pouted. What's wrong, my kitty? Kaneko. You had a good time there, didn't you? Looking away. Issei. Come on Kaneko, I just wanted to tell you something. Kaneko. You better shut up Ice. Issei. Okay, Taka, good luck and take care of yourself my love. Taka. I will do it my love. With Rias. Lilith, it's your turn, go all out. Lilith. Take it for granted, President. Taka jumped off the stage to land in the middle of the newly rebuilt arena. In front of her appeared the other girl with pink hair and blue eyes. 2 claws appeared in her hands, while Taka showed her ghoul eyes. Rafia. Taka on behalf of Issei and Lilith on behalf of Rias will face each other, begin. The pink-haired girl attacked her first with those claws, but Taka surrounded herself with her Kagyun just like her brother did, and so she was able to attack as well, at least she threw the crystals, the other girl dodged them. Lilith. I will not be as confident as my sister and I will go all out. White scales grew from her claws until they almost completely covered her while giving off a silver-colored aura. Issei. So they are the bearers of the dragon Yamada no Urachi. Opus. Did you also persist with it? Issei. Yes, I'm afraid to say that my Taka is in a big bind. Taka took out a small rolled-up paper package from her sweatshirt pocket, unrolled it, and inside was a piece of raw meat. She opened her mouth and ate it. Around her eyes the veins became more noticeable. She opened her Kagyun, which now resembled the wings of a butterfly made of purple and red smoke. From his place Issei got excited to see his fiancée like that. They would have a great time tonight. Taka fearlessly launched herself at the girl she had trusted. With a simple blow the armor had cracked and made her back while looking at her. Lilith. Not bad girl, I hope you continue being like this, raising her left hand, because the more power you have, the more power I will have. Taka felt her power decrease a little, but she continued fighting without fear. Blow after blow she felt weaker. Her Kagyun diminished until with one blow the girl in the armor crashed her to the ground. Taka. What did you do to me? Lilith. I used the ability that my Dragon King gave me, left of energy. With it, I can subtract the same amount of my power from my opponent, but if his power is lower, I would finish him off with a single subtraction, and I'm surprised that you would resist more than 25 subtractions. I've already found myself fighting you, but this ends here, taking a knife out of her wrist. As she was about to stab Taka, a kick landed in her face that made her crash. Taka saw her husband standing in front of her. Taka. What are you doing Issei? Issei. I will not allow them to hurt you like this Taka, you just gave birth a few days ago, and you must take care of yourself. Taka. Then why did you let me fight? Issei. Because I love how you look so rude. Lilith. You can't interrupt my fight coming out of the rubble. Issei. Yes, whatever you say, you win, let's go my love. Rafia. The winner of this confrontation is Lilith on Ria's side. Ria's. Well done Lilith, looking at her tower in front of her. Lilith. I'm sorry if I didn't end the fight, as it should be her armor disappearing. Rias. It's okay, don't worry, I'm glad you won, that's one more step. It's your turn Kaneki, turning to see the white-haired man who was sitting on the floor. Kaneki. It's time to play, snapping his fingers while looking at Issei. Kaneko. Little dragon, are you ready? She said as she got off Issei's lap. Issei. Of course, kitten, I have to win quickly so I can go home and make love to them for a whole week. Hiroka. Then finish quickly darling, just listening to you already excited me, hugging him by the neck from behind. Issei saw the one who was his companion when he was turned into a ghoul. Among his black flames he appeared in the middle of the sand. Kaneki jumped and was a few meters away from Issei. Rafia. The next match is Kaneki on behalf of Ria's Grimoire against ZykxDragon, begin. Issei only activated his Kagyun in the first phase just like Kaneki did, surprising almost everyone in that their Kagyuns look too similar. Ria's. How come they look so alike? Merlin. Appearing behind the red-haired girl. That's because the ghoul organs that Issei has were transplanted from that boy named Kaneki. Rias. When was that? Kaneko. Coming out from behind Merlin's legs. I went back in time to when you were hanging out with that idiot Roko, back in the days when Surziches helped us look for him. Rias. I see, I hope Kaneki can win. Merlin. I doubt he'll beat him, but he'll give my fiancé a good fight, showing off to Rias. Rias. He is also my fiancé. Kaneko. But not because I love you, she said seriously. Rias just glared at her as she returned her Vita to Issei, who had started. The Kagyuns collided as well as their fists. Kaneki resisted the blows, but they still hurt as they also broke some of his bones. On the part of Issei, he evaded his friend's blows very well, even though he knew that he could kill him with one attack. He wanted to know how far he could go when he least expected it. Kaneki held him from behind and bit him in the neck. Issei just turned around and connected a kick to his chest that crashed him against the wall. Issei. I shouldn't be too confident, right Kaneki? Kaneki emerged from the rubble in a completely different phase, wearing a mask with a beak that only covered half of his face, revealing a wide eye. Behind him, in addition to having his tentacle Kagyun, 200-foot tails emerged. Issei. So you also have your imperfect Kakuga. This gets more interesting, passing his Kagyun to the next face, meaning he also got the 100-foot tail. Let's see how strong you are now. Now stronger and faster the fight went by, because although Kaneki couldn't control himself, he fought very well, but Issei had by far the advantage. The leaders who were there were surprised by the power of Ria's pieces, and also Issei's, because everyone knew that the women who were with him were the most famous, beautiful and powerful of all the factions. With Issei's children, they were excited about their father's fight. Leo was arriving with his brothers a little hurt and with some bandages. Kunuo, seeing his little boyfriend, threw himself to hug him. Kunuo. How do you feel, my love? Leo. I feel like shit. Hugo. You look like shit. Kunuo. I didn't like seeing you like that, my love. Leo. Don't worry, it won't happen again, okay? Kunuo nodded as he gave the boy a kiss. Azuka fake coughed to attract her older brother's attention. Azuka. I'm sorry to interrupt you, but Dad is fighting, and we need to learn more about him and his way of facing his rivals. Leo. How do you think Dad will do? Sitting with Kunuo on his lap. Hada. Dad's level is 3000 in his base form. With his Kagyun he goes up to 3700, now his level is 4200, while the other man's level is 3650, so he doesn't have it easy. If Dad wanted, he would have defeated him a long time ago. Leo. Dad wants to enjoy his fight, so let him. Issei held Kaneki by the Sukagun and slammed him several times against the ground. Kaneki with a kick broke free from the hag and freed himself. Issei. Come on Kaneki, fight with everything, or do you need help? Rias. What are you talking about, Issei? Issei. Looking at Rias, I want to make this more fun. How about you let your girls fight against me just like Kaneki? Rias. Are you serious? Issei. Of course, I will even give you 15 minutes to prepare. What do you say? Rias turned to look at the sisters and they nodded. Rias. Okay, come here Kaneki. Kaneki couldn't control himself until Issei hit him on the back of the head and knocked him unconscious. Issei jumped to where his girls were and sat in the middle of them. Kaneko. Why did you do that? Issei. Because I want this to end faster and be fun. Kaneko shook her head, then Meliodas appeared and called Issei. He approached and paid attention to her. Issei. What's wrong, master? Meliodas. Issei, I discovered that the destroyers are gathering and I need you to tell the other guardians to take care of themselves. Be aware and get to know each other and share information, so go quickly before you fight. Issei. Okay, Ram, come with me quickly. Both sisters approached quickly and hugged Issei so that he disappeared in black flames next to them. Happy New Year. Issei. I am ZykxDragon and together with my family I wish you a happy end of the year. So don't miss our next chapters. Leo. Amazing things are coming. Kaneko. New girls to compete with for Issei's lap. Azuka. New enemies that will give us a lot of problems. Zenobia. But as always we will manage. Issei. Remember to enjoy life as well as take care of it and keep moving forward. The proud dragon. Rias was nervous. Kaneki just woke up and was getting ready. The dragon sisters were also getting ready. Maybe this would be a big fight without a doubt. Issei's girls were waiting for their fiancé to appear. Kaneko. It's taking too long. Merlin. I know, but he must go with the other guardians and tell them about the destroyers, because if they take them by surprise, all existence would be in danger. Roswi. It would be best not to worry. Issei can win this fight, and if he does, we will practically have won, so don't show weakness to Rias. The girls nodded as they watched Ria's pieces prepare for the approaching fight. Out of nowhere black flames appeared in the arena, and from them appeared Issei accompanied by Ram, who immediately jumped towards the balcony where Issei's girls were. Kaneko, just in time girls. Ram. If that's the good thing about time running differently between dimensions. Athena. I hope Issei knows what he's doing, I think he's very proud. Issei. From the sand while the twins and Kaneki stood in front of him, it's because I'm beautiful, I Issei Hayadu, the lion of pride. Everyone stared at Issei, who had an arrogant smile. Issei. Well. Are you guys ready? Lilith, you and Kaneki got into a fighting stance while Issei just waited for the first move, and as predicted the first to do so was Lilith, who launched an attack at him with the help of her claws, but Issei just moved his hand, and the attack disappeared. Issei. Come on Kaneki, I know you want to fight alone. Kaneki. Leave this to me girls, I will weaken him as much as I can, and you will have to finish him off. Lilith. But we are supposed to fight together. You. So said President Kaneki. Kaneki. If you fight by my side you could get hurt, it's something the president didn't think about, because my way of fighting is a bit destructive, so do what I tell you. Issei. Let's go Kaneki. Kaneki. I have nothing to lose after all. Issei. Her death wasn't your fault, she loved you, that's why she sacrificed herself for you. Kaneki. She shouldn't have done it if she was going to leave me alone. Issei. For her, you were more important than herself. Accept her death and release all your power. But Issei's children. Bazooka. Brother numbers. Leo. My dad has a base power of 4,000, well that boy is only 2,700, he has the odds against him. Hugo. I don't think that's all his power, I can feel that something very powerful is coming. Miku. Little sister, do you think daddy will win? Bazooka. Of course he will win, remember who dad is. Miku. Issei, the sin of betrayal. But Issei. Issei and Kaneki looked at each other seriously, a drop of sweat on Kaneki's forehead marked the start of the fight. Kaneki tried to hit him, but Issei stopped him with one hand and hit him. Kaneki activated his Rinkaku Kagyun, but Issei also activated his, both Kagyuns collided. Kaneki found a small opening and hit him, when he activated his Kakuja V1. The 100-foot tails, although fast, Issei could block them, the tentacles helped him, but he still couldn't do anything. Kaneki had his plan in his head, so he had to go with everything. Issei smiled, it's been a long time since he could fight against someone really strong. He activated his Kakuja phase 3 to scare Kaneki. Issei's body was surrounded by the Kakuja, but now it was bright red, along with a Kakuja mask that covered half of his face. Issei. I'm not going to play anymore, friend. Without him expecting it, Issei cut off his Kakujas and with one blow broke his Kakuja mask, leaving him almost unconscious. Issei knew that the white-haired man had to deal with his past, so he turned around to now fight against the twins. Inside Kaneki's head. Kaneki was suddenly inside his head, the floor was black and white, there were no walls or ceiling, just the floor that seemed infinite. Hello my love, a voice said behind him. Kaneki turned around and saw her beautiful green hair that he liked about her smile and her single ghoul eye. Kaneki. Ito. Ito. Did you miss me? Kaneki. You don't know how much. Ito. I hope you continue being the same as always. Kaneki. How can I be if you're no longer here with me? Ito. I know it's hard, but you know I'd rather die than have you do it. Kaneki. You still left me alone. Ito. But I saved your life, at that moment it was the only thing I wanted and I achieved it. Kaneki. I'm sorry, I was just a weak human at that time. Ito. Hey, you weren't a weak human, you were part of a great organization that fought against the ghouls. Despite that, you spared my life, you took care of me, you fell in love with me, and you gave me the happiness of being a mother. Kaneki. But I couldn't protect them when it was necessary, even our daughter is ashamed of me. Ito. That's not true, she loves you very much, you are and will be her hero. I know you can do great things with or without me, so my love making his ghoul eye shine brighter, so go and fight. Out of Kaneki's mind. Issei had knocked you unconscious, Lilith was still standing, but where Kaneki was before there was now a 100-foot giant resembling a dragon. By this point I hope you've already seen all of Tokyo Ghoul, because if not you won't be able to know what the dragon Kaneki looks like. Issei dodged an attack from the dragon that was watching him carefully, waiting for a good moment to attack. Issei was ready to fight, the dragon tried to eat him, but Issei inhaled a large amount of air, and black fire came out of his mouth that baffled the beast. Issei activated his Bikaku Kagyun, with which he began to throw large projectiles at him. The dragon hit him with its tail, crashing him into the ground, cracking his armor. When he wanted to attack him again, Issei quickly moved away, activated his booster gear. Ddraig. Wow, that thing got big. Issei. It sounded weird. Ddraig. Shut up and focus on the fight, because if you lose, your girls will get angry and I won't help you in the next regeneration. Issei. Okay. Issei saw something come out of the dragon, a kind of monster without eyes, and that looked like shit. The creatures began to run towards him. Issei took out the sword of Olympus and began to split them, but the more he cut them the more appeared. He was getting fed up, so he sniffed again and spat fire, burning all the beasts. He saw how the dragon launched itself at him again, but Issei now equipped an Nemean cestus and hit it, leaving it on the ground. Issei. Wow, you are troublesome, friend. Inside Kaneki. The white-haired boy was surrounded by different versions of himself. Hey 1. You're still as weak as ever. Hey 2. You shouldn't have met Ito. Hey 3. You will always lose everything you care about. Hey 4. She loved you and always will, as will your daughter. Hey 5. Always go forward and never back, just like a 100-footer. Kaneki closed his eyes, and when he opened them he could see that he was in a field of flowers, the same one he had at home with his wife and daughter. He felt hands running over his torso until they reached his cheeks and saw his green-haired girl. Ito. I see you're still blaming yourself just like always. Kaneki. I'm sick of this life without you. Ito. I will never leave you, I will always be by your side. Go end this fight and look for our daughter, tell her that I love her and that she should never forget everything I told her when I was with her, especially that she should not kill innocent people. Outside Kaneki. When Kaneki opened his eyes he was on the ground, he could see how something around him disappeared, it seemed to be made of CRC cell phone like his Kagyun. He got up and saw how Issei approached him. Issei. Friend, I know you're wrong, but if you don't do anything to change it, your daughter won't be able to get out of the darkness. Kaneki. I know, and that's why I will never give up. From Kaneki's body began to emerge CRC cells, his Kakuja was now different, his entire body was surrounded by an armor that looked like it would be an incredible rival. Issei. I see you finally accepted everything about yourself. Kaneki. There are things that can't be changed, things that can't be forgotten, but you have to live with it. Issei. Well, then show me what you're made of. Kaneki attacked with his Kakuja, but Issei protected himself with the Kakaku Kagyun, both let their Kagyuns collide with each other, while the two white-haired men began a fist fight. The blows were incredibly strong, so much so that the arena that was already destroyed was about to explode, the shield that protected the people began to break. Merlin. Wow, the boy's strength made Issei use 2 augmentations. Athena. Her strength is around 16,000, so she is a worthy rival. Vala. That's a lot of power for one guy. Merlin. If both are almost the same it is not surprising. Issei saw how Kaneki weakened a little, he struck the boy's chest with his palm that almost destroyed his white armor. Issei. You're not used to that power, my friend. You use up your CRC cell phone too quickly. I know you will run out of them very soon, so full with pride. Issei would attack for the last time, several blows to the armor destroyed it, the Kagyun made its last attempt to defend itself, but Issei destroyed them too, Kaneki fell to the ground, and with his Kagyun he made him disappear, Issei left his Kakuja while he was agitated. Issei. 1 goes and 2 remain. Lilith and you were waiting for their turn to be able to defeat the proud dragon. A fool with ink. Sisters united until the end. Both sisters were ready to fight the guardian, seeing how strong he was excited them, because not everyone has enough balls to fight him, Issei, even if he didn't show it was tired, because traveling from dimension to dimension used up a lot of energy, there was also the fact that he had used up a lot of CRC cells, but he still had to finish this fight. She saw how those girls appeared from the rubble ready for the fight, she smiled slightly, she knew that she shouldn't take this as a game anymore. Issei. I think you guys carry something inside you, right? Lilith. Are you talking about Yaum? Issei. Yes, that's right. You. How did you know? Issei. I can feel their dragon aura and they stink of smoke, so there's not much to hide it with. Lilith. He hasn't helped in many ways, even overcoming the balance breaker. Issei. So you already got the broken power, what about the perfect balance? I'm sure you don't know it. Lilith. No, we don't know him. Issei. Let's see, the balance breaker is a state where you can control a lot of power for a limited time, the broken power allows you to use even more power, but you have less control over it and of course. The perfect balance is the almost maximum point where you can use all your power to control it without time restriction, even so it is a double-edged sword, it damages you, but if you leave that aside, it's the best. Lilith. Help me get to that level please. Issei. If you give me a good battle maybe I'll take your request into account. Lilith smiled at Issei's words, she was now more motivated to fight so she would go all out, energy began to flow through her body, bracelets appeared on her hands, and from them began to grow a light golden armor like the girl's hair, it covered her entire body, except for her head. Issei was a little surprised by that, this would be fun. Issei. That form is. Lilith. My broken power is my most powerful form. Issei. Show me how strong you are. Lilith fearlessly launched herself into the attack trying to hit Issei with her fist, but the boy stopped her with his right arm, and with his left, he hit her in the chest throwing her back, the girl tried to kick her, but Issei blocked the attack and swept her, but Lilith held herself with her hands on the ground and kicked him in the face, the girl got up and continued trying to hit and kick him. Issei followed her pace, but little by little Lilith learned how Issei fought and thus was able to find an opening, when Issei was going to hit her, she deflected the blow and pierced his chest with her claws. Issei. Wow, you impress me, but it's not enough to win, come on Ddraig, Albion. Ddraig Albion. Balance BRAKER. On the right arm appeared a white gauntlet that went from the elbow to the hand, and on the left arm appeared the classic red gauntlet, but the gem was now black and went from the shoulder to the hand, but from the elbow up it had spikes, it began to shine, and a red armor covered him from head to toe, behind him appeared 200 foot tails and white dragon wings. Lilith felt that the aura he gave off was powerful, the time had come to use her ability, a mask that only covered her nose and mouth appeared, she ran towards him, and before touching him she made her move. Lilith. Subtract. Issei was a little surprised when he felt a part of his power disappear out of nowhere, Lilith gave a strong blow to Issei's face, which without further ado he retreated. Issei. What happened Ddraig? Ddraig. Remembers that girl's ability is to subtract her rival's power. Albio. It would be like a copy of me, but she has no limits, at least that's what it seems like. Issei. Nothing is eternal, friends, get ready Ddraig, I will need augmentations. 5. Issei activated Izukaku Kagyun and threw projectiles at her that she deflected with her hands. He approached her and hit her with his tails. She stepped back but extended her hand, and a glow came out of her hand. Lilith. White ATTACK. The white ray was shot from the golden-haired girl's hand. Issei created a shield with his left arm and blocked the attack. Issei knew that this girl was powerful if she knew how to play her pieces well. Subtract. The white shield cracked, but Issei quickly moved from the spot. Lilith saw how Issei was at her side, so she threw a kick before he hit her. Issei held her foot and smiled. 5. Issei. I love this fight, it's been a long time since anyone made me appear and use my booster gear, but you still have a lot to learn, girl, just watch. Lilith was surprised to see how several Issei surrounded her, but they were not made of magic, or at least she did not detect that. Lilith. How do you do that? Issei smiled and from under her came out an Issei with his left arm in the form of a sharp blade that cut the armor. Lilith was scared to see this, but more so when she saw that now Issei's armor was different since it was now white, it looked lighter, it no longer had wings, instead of carrying 100-foot tails, now it only had a tail that at its tip had a ball with spikes. The only thing that remained in its place were the gauntlets. Lilith. You used. Issei. See, use me broken power. Subtract. Issei with his speed was going to stab her, but before that he received a kick in the face that crashed him to the ground. Lilith saw next to her a silver armor with white wings. It was her sister Yu who had saved her from ending this fight. Yu held her and backed up a couple of meters. Yu. Are you okay, Lilith? Lilith. Yes, thank you Yu, he is stronger than I thought. Even when we use our ability, we must go with everything, use your maximum power. Yu nodded and began to use more magic. The armor grew and became thicker and heavier as the ground beneath it broke. The wings grew. Issei came out of the hole he was in. When he looked up, he was met with a tremendous sight. In front of him was Yu. Issei. You're kidding me, aren't you? Yu kicked him and sent him crashing into the barrier in front of her daughters. Issei. Hello kids, daddy is winning, he said, greeting the children. Azuka. Seeing you like this, I highly doubt you're winning, Dad, she said with a nervous smile, just like her brothers. Subtract. Issei was pulled by Yu and threw him. Lilith appeared in the air and cut him in half. Already on the ground, Issei got up and was scared. Issei. I can't feel my legs, there they are, seeing his legs a few meters away from him. Yu created a large sphere of energy and threw it at Issei, who only watched as the attack approached little by little. Issei. Shit. 5. The explosion was so strong that both Merlin and Apis had to reinforce the barrier. When the energy disappeared, there was no trace left of what was once a beautiful fighting arena. Issei had disappeared. Lilith. You really went too far with that attack, sister. Yu. I think so. Issei. The truth is yes, but it didn't even scratch me appearing from behind the sisters. They both turned around, but she immediately hit them both to the ground. They both got up with effort and saw how Issei stood in front of her, but now he no longer had any armor, he only had the gauntlets, but he still gave off power that everyone came to feel. Issei. I expected more from you, but it seems that there are still not enough of you, it's a shame. The two girls lowered their heads, stood up, stood together side by side, their armor disappeared, they held hands, and the two of them flowed magic, growing more and more. Subtract, 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 subtract. Ddraig, Albion, Issei and everyone who was watching the fight were surprised. The two girls were no longer there, only a single armor. It was golden in color, but of a very low tone. At their sides were two sheathed swords. A type of crown floated above it. It was very powerful at first glance. Ddraig. Well, there's a reason he has the title of Dragon King. If we dragons hadn't lost, he would have had the title of Celestial. Albion. I thought she was a girl and I almost raped him. Issei and Ddraig remained silent. Issei. Well, this is going to be great. Issei inadvertently had his chest pierced by a sword. Issei. This shit is a dragon slayer, shit. Subtract. The armor cut Issei several times. When it finished he thought he had already won, but a dark matter emerged from the boy's body parts. He reunited and looked into the armor's eyes. 5. Issei. I have to stop playing with you, it's time to get serious. Just like what happened with Loki, Issei made his tentacles appear, his 100-foot tail, his Kakuja's armor appeared, but it was black, his bone mask was revealed. This would be the end of the fight. Lilith, you. We may not be able to beat you, but we will continue with honor until the end. Issei. This is the third time I've been forced to use my 50%, feel lucky. Both of them collided fists, punch and punch, only the words subtract and boast could be heard. The fight rose in rank. Lilyu kicked Issei, who crashed into the ground, rose into the air, and from there began to launch powerful magic attacks at him. Issei dodged each attack with great speed. Lilyu rose higher and began to charge her last attack. In front of them a sphere began to grow while Ddraig charged energy. The girl unleashed all her power in a powerful ray, but before it touched Issei, he dodged it and began to go towards her above the ray. Lilyu saw how Issei appeared in front of her. Ddraig. Ultra Dragon SHOT. The more powerful attack hit the sisters directly, who were unable to do anything and received it directly, thus losing the fight. Everyone fell silent as the two girls' bodies fell to the ground completely defeated. Both disappeared in particles of light, while Issei returned to his base state, put his hands in his pockets, and began to walk towards the exit of the destroyed place. But the sons of Issei. Bazooka. Brother numbers. Leo. Women reached a power of over 57,000, while dad's power was over 950,000, she had no chance. Pay your bet. Riaz was more than nervous. If Issei could against 3 of her best pieces, she knew that he would not be easy to defeat, or more than that, she would not be able to win. Rafia. Let the next fight begin. With Issei. Issei was being taken care of by his girls when he turned to see Merlin, who was sitting with her arms crossed. Issei. Merlin, it's time for you to put on your show. Merlin. Are you sure I can get in? Issei. That's right, you're the one. Merlin. I thought you liked to play. Issei. And that's how it is, but if I continue like this, Sona would surely repress me. Merlin. Okay, standing up, well, let's do this. Merlin appeared out of nowhere in the arena, while Riaz turned to look at her new piece. Riaz. I think it's your turn. Okay, I just think it's not a good idea for me to fight that woman. Riaz. I know you don't like me being your mistress, but you have to do it. The man just turned to look away and went to the sand to stand in front of Merlin, who had a small smile on his face. Merlin. It seems you underestimate women, idiot. My name is Bahamut, I am one of the few demons who survived the fight for Lucifer's throne, but for various reasons I ended up in the Grimoire clan, so give up, I don't want to hurt you. Merlin. I'm sorry but I can't do that, so swallow your pride and fight like a man. Bahamut got angry and made a magic circle from which a powerful ray came out, but Merlin didn't even flinch, because in front of her, he created a magic shield that blocked the attack, as if it were nothing that angered the man, so with both hands, he created a large sphere of energy that he launched immediately. Merlin used another spell that made the attack disappear. This surprised everyone because it seemed that he was nothing before her. Merlin wanted to attack, so he raised his hand, and on top of it, a circle appeared from which a large amount of fire fell. That hit Bahamut squarely, since the spell was too fast even for him. Issei had a smile on his face, while Riaz was mortified. Bahamut. Cursed appearing wounded. Merlin. I'm sorry but you're too weak for me, the only one who would defeat me would be Issei or Apis, but you're just a simple insect before me. Merlin used a sphere, multiple seals appeared around Bahamut, from which powerful attacks came out that completely defeated him. Spelling. The winner is Merlin on Issei's part. Riaz was desperate, she had to win, but there was nothing to do, she fell to her knees, her last hope had been Kaneki and the twins, she had nothing on her mind but one last move. Riaz. All nothing. Issei. What? Riaz. Fight me, if you win I pay my bet, but if you lose you pay yours. Issei. Done. Both were in the middle of the sand in full view of everyone, their children knew who that woman was because they knew from their mothers the relationship their father had had. Bazooka. Leo, what are the chances that woman has? Leo. That woman's power level is now 2500, she doesn't even have a chance against my dad, it was stupid to say that. Bazooka. He must have a plan for him to say that. Miku. Miku thinks that woman has already lost. Hada. I confirm. Riaz was ready for the fight, if she lost she would lose with her head held high. Issei was ready to take Venelana home. Issei. List. Riaz. Yes, I must give my all. Riaz raised her power of destruction, causing her to be surrounded by a red aura. Issei smiled at this and activated his 2 gauntlets and the red armor he had used against Kaneki. Riaz created an attack of destruction and launched it towards Issei, which he was able to easily dodge. Riaz was sure that even if she attacked him with all her strength, she couldn't do anything to him, so beneath her, she summoned a large magic circle. Ddraig. No way, don't tell me he's going to bring her. Albion. She really is crazy. Issei. What's wrong? Ddraig. The stupid busty retard is summoning a powerful dragon which fought against Apis for the throne of Dragon God. They are not as powerful as us now, but their abilities will buck us to the soul. From the magic circle a large red dragon began to emerge, its scales had a peculiar shape, its wings were made of something similar to smoke, it was intimidating at first glance. Issei only had his eyes open like everyone else, because in front of them was the worst dragon of all, the dragon of love. Issei. No way Rias, you can't play with something like this. Rias. She's not as bad as she seems, and with her help I will try to defeat you. The dragon rose higher and then returned to the ground with its mouth open swallowing Rias, but the deeper it went into the ground where a strong aura shone, Issei saw how Rias appeared with a somewhat extravagant armor, as it only surrounded her in some parts, but in others, for example her breasts, her bipples and part of her chest were exposed, they were only covered by a heart at the tip of them. The same thing happened with her vagina, her helmet did not seem to have eyes, without a doubt she was very strange. The children present covered their eyes, some men blushed, others looked at her with lust. Issei leaned back, and the wall next to him was destroyed. The others only saw how Issei moved dodging something while the arena was destroyed. Issei activated his level 2 Kagyun with which he counterattacked Rias. From the bowster gear he took out the Nemia gloves to hit her, but when he made contact with her, he felt how his energy was absorbed. He separated, he could see a small flash, and now there were more Rias as if she had been cloned. Each one of them began to hit him, the others saw how the great dragon hit the air. Ddraig. Issei, she has the ability to put you in an illusion, absorb energy, clone herself, and another thing that makes me feel bad to say it. Issei. What is it? Ddraig. Can remind you of pains in your heart. Issei. So she will remember me. Ddraig. No, your daughter. Issei opened his eyes when he suddenly received a blow to the chest that destroyed his armor and made him crash into the wall. When they saw Issei had his arms and legs tied, Rias went towards him to start hitting him. Each blow she gave was faster and stronger, seriously damaging Issei. When she stopped hitting him he fell to the ground, everything fell into a deep silence. Rias raised her hand and above it, a large sphere of power of destruction was created, it took flight, and from above she could see how Issei got up without any problem. She turned to look at her and launched the attack, the sphere approached little by little, until it hit Issei's nose who did not even blink. The explosion was such that Merlin, Meliodas, Opus, the Mau. All of Issei's girls created a barrier so that they would not harm anyone. When the glow of the attack occurred, there was only Rias in the middle of the arena. Rias. I'm sorry Issei but. In front of everyone, a kind of black viscous mass began to form, little by little it took shape, until a naked Issei appeared who, with a snap, dressed in his school uniform. Issei. That was a good attack. Rias. But what? Issei. I could tell you how I did it to parody a lame anime, but the truth is we've been like this for 2 months in this arc, and I'm already shitting myself. Issei used his 50% power again, making everything tremble. Rias went towards him, but now the difference was huge, as Issei received the attacks without a problem, while Rias resented the blows she received. When they separated, Rias raised a hand and Issei froze. They both shook. It seemed like they were both seeing the same thing. When the spell Rias had used ended, they both fell to the ground. Issei stood up as did Rias, whose helmet had been destroyed. It was clear that she was crying for something. Rias. Issei yo. Issei had hit her so hard that she collapsed. Issei. You have never measured your decisions, you are always selfish, you got upset when I was with others when you were the woman I loved the most, you screwed me over when I was finally happy, you came back when you realized that that idiot was just playing with you, you pulled strings to be able to marry me, you bet on your own mother knowing you would lose, now you play with my memories. Rias. I didn't know she. Issei. Yes, I lost her, what hurts me the most is that I could never do anything to save her, she was snatched from my arms, that bastard took a piece of my soul when he took her, but I can swear something to you, to me, to Opus and to my daughter, I swear on my name as a dragon, that I will rescue my daughter and bring her back. Issei charged a dragon shot and shot Rias at point-blank range, winning the match. Minutes later. Issei's children ran through some hallways trying to get to the room where their father was, when they arrived Leo opened the door strongly. Leo. Daddy. Issei turned to see his children who looked somewhat worried. Issei. What's wrong? Leo. Why didn't we know we had a sister? Issei. Hi ho yo. Leo. Nothing dad, you shouldn't have kept something like that a secret. Merlin. Leo. Issei. Calm down Merlin, he's right, I shouldn't have hidden something like that from you, but understand that something like this is very difficult for me, your sister was kidnapped by a bastard, I don't know where she is, as far as I've been able to find out she's in another dimension, but I don't know which one. As I said I'm going to look for her in fact right now thousands of my clones are traveling between dimensions looking for your sister. Azuka. At least tell us his name. Issei. Her name is. An hour later. In a room there were leaders and some demons waiting for Issei's arrival, the doors were opened and behind them appeared Issei with his girls. Issei. Were you waiting for me? Sir ZykxDragon. Yes, I hope you are well after your fights. Issei. Of course, don't worry, it's time for them to pay their bet. Zeodicus. Issei, I know we bet something but I can. Issei. Sorry old man but a bet is a bet. Then Alana. Issei is right, here I am Issei. Issei. Well it's time to go approaching her. Then Alana. I ask you to let me go for my clothes and some things. Issei. Don't worry about it, you won't need clothes pulling her by the waist and your important things like photos or something like that you can send for that later, the rest I can get you better things, now let's go biting her ear. Then Alana. SC. Issei and his girls disappeared in black fire, leaving everyone silent. Elsewhere. Master, the seal is about to break, we just need your order. Not yet, I want the moment to be perfect, better go with the new destroyer. Do you think it's ready? Of course, I know how to convince him. Ambioda Plains. Issei was in his office with Surziches who had told him some information. Issei. Let's see if I understand, you're telling me that I abandoned my current academy. Surziches. Oh yeah. Issei. And go to a new academy full of magical girls. Surziches. Oh yeah. Issei. Besides, I have to train a son of Lucifer because if his power gets out of control, he will take you just like the council did. Surziches. Nobody caught me. Issei. You look like a coward and in exchange for that you let me hook up with the teachers of that place, plus 3 coupons for a free hamburger at Neldonald's. Surziches. Aha yes that's how it is. Issei. Sounds reasonable. Surziches. Yes it is. Issei. Buck your bucking mother. Surziches. It's not my bucking fault that the council allied itself with the magicians. Issei. I'm always the idiot who is ordered everywhere. Surziches. Shut up, at least I'm not the idiot who agreed to marry a bunch of old women. Issei. I always have to deal with my angry old women, why do they dare to screw up my life? Surziches. You shouldn't be bucking with me because you accepted it. Issei. How it pisses me off, you don't know what it feels like to have to deal with so many angry women. Issei. I should always help you, right? Surziches. Ambum Buzdrich, he's not the one for the favor. Issei. Buck. Moments later. Issei's girls looked seriously at Issei who was sitting in front of them, they were more serious than usual, and Kaneko not being on Issei's legs meant something bad. Athena. Let's see if we understand, will you leave school? Issei. That's right. Sona. Are you aware that even though you are an important person in the supernatural, you are just a student in the human world? Issei. Yes, but Surziches asked me to go to the Magician's Academy. Athena. That doesn't mean you drop out of school. Issei. But I haven't told you all the good stuff. Sona. Well, you're taking too long to tell us. Issei. I will be a teacher at that school, plus I have to take care of a brat son of a Lucifer. Sona. Are you serious? Issei. If that's why, I'll also take Leo and Azuka to start training their magic. Merlin. But they are still very young. Issei. Yes, I know, but it's good that they start young so they can be better. Vala. And what do you think you should do with Kata? Issei. Well, I've been looking at some things, and I think it would be better if we send Kata to a school for children that Azazel has. Enemu? I don't think it's a good idea for Kata to be with that pervert. Issei. Don't worry, he doesn't teach at that school. Athena. I don't think it's a good idea for you to go to that academy, I'm sure you'll sleep with some brat there. Issei. Ahem, blushing, of course not. Aphrodite. You're bad at lying, Issei. Issei. Well, I have to go to the supernatural school to report my absence, bye. But before he could leave, he was stopped by Merlin, who created a magic barrier. Tsubaki. You won't leave that easily, darling. Seraphil. That's right, you still have things to do here, you know. Zenobia. Today is your deadline, Issei. Kaneko. You must fulfill us as a man. Rem. Or do you want us to force you? Issei smiled at what Rem said. Merlin felt like magic had surrounded the room, they all felt their body heat up. Seraphil. But what's happening? Issei. What had to happen today, beautiful? Issei snapped his fingers, and the entire room changed. Now there was a large bed with armchairs around it. They blushed seeing Issei, who did not have his clothes on top. Issei. I think you know what day it is today. Apis. Oh my god, I think we played with the wrong thing. Kaneko. Ooh damn, I don't think we'll be able to walk for a couple of days. Sakvara. Why are you surprised about today? Merlin. Because Issei is half dragon, they have a mating season, and with his magic he will leave us in ruins. Zenobia. But there is a problem. Issei. What's the problem? He said while hugging her from behind and kissing her neck. Zenobia. Why is Sakvara a virgin? Issei. True, but if he agrees to be my partner, he must get used to this, and if he doesn't want to, there's no problem, he can look for someone who meets his expectations. Issei felt how they grabbed him by the hair and took him to the bed where they threw him and saw in front of him how Sakvara undressed. Lemon skipped. After the show Sakvara woke up, she was in the covered bed, they were all the same, she straightened up and stood up, but when she did her legs were weak, her vagina and anus hurt, her legs gave way, and she fell due to the noise. The others also woke up, now that she was on the floor, she realized that her buttocks were also burning. Sona. I see that everything is over. Sakvara. Where is Issei? Merlin. He must be preparing breakfast for us. Sakvara. Really? Haneko. Yeah, Issei always does that after we have Hex. Sakvara. But he just penetrated us from all sides, and he already got up and prepared food. I say for me it is a little dry. Denisa. Girl, Issei does more than that. Haneko. Yes, it penetrates us everywhere, but it gives us time, each one of us. Sona. He kissed and hugged each of us with love. Tsubaki. He whispers sweet words in our ears and tells us how much he loves us. Zenobia. He's rude, but at the same time you feel protected by his side. Roswi. He is a womanizer, but he does not play with the feelings of girls. Gabriel. He has a romantic heart and a perverted mind. Seraphil. He does whatever you want if you ask him. Enemu. He is chivalrous, attractive, masculine and treats everyone equally, but he is very, very kind. Hiroka. He is extremely assertive in the things he does. Apis. He is very masculine, but he will always treat you with great delicacy. Sakvara. They make him look so good, what makes them talk about him like that? Ram. Once when we had a date, he took me to a town near where we lived. He was so nice, he kept hugging me around the waist and giving me kisses. Ram. One day when I got sick, he was looking after me the whole time until I recovered. He prepared food for me that was delicious. Vala. He is very clever, whenever I need something he is there to help me. He has been the only one who has liked the things I have invented. Athena. Even if he doesn't seem like it, he can be as strong as a diamond, but his heart is as fragile as a feather. Aphrodite. His love for us is gigantic, he would be willing to die even if you don't believe it. Merlin. And now that you mention it, if you haven't noticed, Issei cleaned us up, made us comfortable and tucked us in. He probably slept next to us for several hours. Right now he's cooking breakfast for us. Sakvara. I know it's bad, but I've never really had a boyfriend. You don't have to do anything special, just give me all the love you have. Sakvara felt herself being hugged and kissed on the neck. Sakvara. Well if you put it that way. Issei. Come on girls, the food is ready. Sona. Food. Issei. Yes, they were sleeping for a day and a half. Sona. What? Issei. Haha, I'm sorry, but since children have to go to school, time here passes at the same time as on Earth. Sona. Damn, I have to go to school. Issei. Don't worry, I'll fix everything tomorrow, you can go. Tsubaki. What time is it? Issei. It's 3:45 in the afternoon, you better come, the food is ready. Athena. What are you going to do with what Serziches told you? Issei. I'll go first thing tomorrow, so let's go. Magas. Issei was getting ready to leave, as he did so his girls peeked through the door. Issei. Can I help you? Sona. Why are you dressed up so much? Issei. I must be presentable for my new job. Merlin. I think you want more girls, right? Issei. I don't know, maybe I'll fall in love with another girl v. Issei had screwed up by saying that because he felt his girls approaching him with a murderous aura. Issei. Okay, I'll try not to fall in love with anyone. That left them a little calm, but they would kick his ass if he did it. Minutes later, Issei was already ready in the living room to leave, but was stopped by Sakvara and Merlin. Issei. What's wrong? Sakvara. We will go with you. Issei. What, why? Merlin. So you don't do any of the stupid things you always do. Issei. Okay, are you guys ready? Leo Izuka. Yes Captain, we are ready. Issei. I can't hear them. Leo Izuka. Yes Captain, we are ready. Issei. You. I told him to disappear into fire v. Sona. What the hell was that? Tsubaki. I don't know. Aoka. Let's go, it's getting late. Enemu. Besides, we have to get Kata to school quickly. Elsewhere. Issei, Sakvara, Merlin and their children had just appeared outside a large building that, if Issei was not mistaken, was in the magic school. They walked up to the door and knocked lightly to be opened by a girl with red hair, school uniform and large breasts. Can I help you? Issei. Sure, I'm Issei, the new teacher. Hi Issei sensei, it's a pleasure to be here. Issei. Yes, and you are? My name is Lilith Asami. Issei. Okay, can we go in? Lilith. Sure, go ahead. The girl led them through the hallways until they reached what must have been the director's office. She knocked on the door and was greeted by a man who walked in. Upon entering she saw a white-haired man with glasses. I'm glad you're here now, I thought Surziches wouldn't convince you. Issei. Well, you see, yes. Well then, I welcome you to the Royal Bible Academy. After that strange presentation the director took the children to their classrooms. It must be said that they were a sensation, because Leo was the smallest boy of all, and Azuka was the prettiest girl. Both were in different classrooms, so it would be strange for both. Sakvara was taken to a middle class, while Merlin wanted to be in a more advanced class. Issei was taken to another class where he would be in charge of an entire class full of girls. After 3 hours where he was teaching the basics of magic, since thank God they were just starting, he went to the teacher's room where he met Lilith who was about to leave. Issei. Where are you going, beautiful? Lilith. Oh, Issei-sensei, I have to go on a mission that the director has given me. Issei. Do you want me to accompany you? Lilith. I don't know how long it will take. Issei. Well, if I go with you, it will be faster, he said as he approached her. Lilith. Hey. Issei smiled as he saw her blush. They both left the school, but without realizing it, Azuka saw them and was calling on the phone. Issei and Lilith walked through an empty city which they had reached quickly thanks to Issei. Lilith was somewhat nervous. Issei. Is something wrong? Lilith. This city was supposed to be almost in ruins, but now. Issei. I think it's because of that, pointing to the sky where there was a black sun. Lilith. I think it's a collapse phenomenon. Issei. Well then let's find what causes it, he said while tracing the magic trail. They are on top of that building, he said while pointing at one. They both went to where Issei had said. When they arrived they saw a girl in front of another boy. I'm sorry for what I'm about to do, but it's necessary. Lilith created what looked like a high-caliber rifle and shot the girl. She moved away while the boy looked around as Issei had cancelled the spell he had created and the girl disappeared. Issei. That boy is strong. Lilith. Raise your hands. What the hell is going on? Issei. Calm down, nothing's wrong, I just wanted to know something. What the thing? Issei. That grimoire you have in your hand, who gave it to you? What thing? He looked at his hand to see that he was holding a small book. I do not know what it is. Issei. I see, you are powerful, I can feel it, but it seems you must learn to control it. Lilith. We must kill him. Issei. No, calm down, tell me boy, do you want to learn how to use your power? He began to remember many things that had happened before all this happened, and he remembered her telling him not to forget her. And? Issei. I can't hear you. Yes, I want to learn magic. Issei. Well, young man. Arata Kasuga, my name is Arata Kasuga. Issei. Well Arata, from today you are the student of the most powerful dragon, he said, while behind him a red dragon appeared roaring, while there were fireworks. Arata looked at him with stars in his eyes and followed him as he began to walk away. All the way he asked him many questions, such as what he would learn, what his powers would be, and things like that, while Issei kept his expectations very high. When he had already arrived at the school, upon entering the entrance he found Sona, Tsubaki, Kaneko, Gabriel, Sakvara, Penemu and Merlin. Issei. Ho ho hello my love loves, he said while smiling nervously. Sona. Where have you been? She said while adjusting her glasses. Issei. Yo. Tsubaki. You knew what would happen if you were with another woman. Issei. I wasn't with anyone, I just went with her since I had to bring him, he said while pointing at Arata. Right Arata. He said while kicking him. Show. SSC. Merlin. We'll talk at home. Issei. Shit. The Demon King candidate. Issei was sitting in front of the school principal and next to him was Arata. Director. So you brought the boy who caused the collapse phenomenon. Issei. That's right, he has a grimoire that I think you will fully recognize. Show it to him, Arata. Arata raised his hand to show him his grimoire and the director opened his eyes upon seeing a legendary grimoire. Issei. It's Astrel's code, Merlin confirmed it to me. Director. So he is. Issei. He is a candidate for Demon King, that is why I have decided that he should be my new personal student. I want him to learn to handle his power, which if it gets out of control, I think all the worlds will be affected. Director. Fine, but I don't want any accidents, Issei. Issei. Standing next to Arata. I don't promise anything. They both left the office while Arata looked at his grimoire. Arata. Demon King. Issei. I'll tell you later, I don't want fame to go to your head, now go to your room first thing tomorrow morning, I'll send someone to start training you, okay? Arata. Of course, excuse me sensei, but how old are you? Issei. I'm 17, why? Arata. He's my age, and yet he's my sensei. Issei. At my age I could kill everyone, so shut your mouth and go to sleep. Arata nodded and at the same time Issei teleported to his house. Seeing his living room he saw that all his girls were sitting there besides Venelana, who was returning from her vacation that Issei had given her. Kunio looked angrily at Leo who was only kneeling with his head down. Issei. Hello my loves, I'm back, sitting between Sona and Venelana so that Kaneko could sit on his lap in front of them. What's happening, why so much silence? Sona. Everyone has heard that you have gone on a trip alone with a girl, you have been flirting with many girls. Kaneko. We already told you what would happen if you brought another girl, so today you sleep on the couch. Merlin. And your son is already following in your footsteps. Kunio. Yes, I was making eyes at all those old ladies who wanted to touch what was mine. Venelana. I know you're a dragon and everything, but you already have a lot of women, right? Or are you just playing with us? If that's the case. Issei. Hey, I'm going to stop you there Venelana, the fact that I'm with you is because I love you. If I didn't love you, what good would it do me to marry you? I could simply go out every day to have sex with a different woman. Tell me, have I ever treated you badly? Seraphil, Kuroka and Aphrodite raise their hands in bed. It doesn't count, they lower their hands. Are you missing something, honey? All? No. Issei. I know I haven't been with you all for a long time, what with my travels, what with school, but now we have children kneeling to look at them all, we have ties that can't be easily broken. I don't want you to be jealous, I love you all, I'm going to marry you all, I want to have a child with all of you, and if any of you say, I don't want to share my husband, fine. I'll accept your decisions, if you're happy I am too, I've suffered before because of jealousy, I don't want it to happen again now, you have something to think about, go up to the room, we'll talk tomorrow. Issei kissed his girls goodbye as they went up to the room. Leo approached Kunio to give him a kiss on the cheek and say something in his ear so that she would also leave. Now father and son were lying on the couch covered with a pink blanket. Issei. Do you want some ice cream? Leo. Sure. They were both sitting in the dining room while eating vanilla ice cream. Leo. Dad, how much do you love my mothers? Issei. I'll be honest with you son, I love your mothers with all my soul. Obviously I may love one more than the other, it's like a father, I will always love one child more than the other, even if they deny it, that's how it really is, but I'll tell you one thing son, I'm willing to give my life for theirs. Leo. Is it true that real perverts have rules? Issei. Of course we do, perverts don't like women, we adore them, take note, rule 1 you will defend your tastes tooth and nail, if you like tits, ass and legs, but what I think I speak for everyone, is that thighs are the best. Leo. They certainly are, writing down in a notebook. Issei. Rule 2 degrees we will respect and protect women from other supposed perverts who are only scum. Rule 3 degrees if we have a partner, we will love her, pamper her and give everything for her. 4 degrees if you have a partner and she would not like to share you, you must respect her, and in our case, give thanks. 5 degrees perverts with partners are only perverts with them. Leo. Are those all? Issei. No, but I'll tell you the others later. Leo. Okay, closing his notebooks and finishing his ice cream. Issei. Now go to sleep, tomorrow there is school. The next day at magic school. Issei was teaching in front of everyone, but there was someone who was not paying attention because he was very nervous as he was stared at by a girl named Rin. Arata. Hey sensei, can you tell me what's going on with this girl? Issei. Oh, I don't know, okay girls, who wants to see me without a shirt? The time after. Issei walked through the halls until he met Arata who was watching Rin leave. He approached him. Issei. Hey, what's up? Arata. She told me that she was the fiancé of the Demon King, so she is my fiancé. Issei. You're so lucky boy, giving him a thumbs up, you fill me with pride as my student. Arata. Yeah, the guy who came to help me is your friend. Issei. Something like that, I asked him as a favor to come and help you train your body, so do your best. I have some business with the director, so later I will teach you how to use magic, would you like? Arata. Sure. Issei. Okay, see you later. In the principal's office. Issei entered the office meeting Surzich's, Rem and a black-haired boy with something on his sword. Issei. What's happening today? Surzich's. We were waiting for you. Issei shaking his hand. This is Rin Okamura, he is the son of the previous Lucifer. Issei. Vali's father, right? Surzich's. Yes, a few months ago he lost his father, he attended an exorcist school, but there were some problems, and his brother asked us to help him. Issei, you are the strongest demon, so that's why I ask you to help him and take him as your battle partner. Issei watched as Rin stood in front of him, they both looked into each other's eyes. Issei was taller and imposing, Rin knew they were both the same age, but Issei just looking at him made his legs shake, but Issei lightened the mood as he shook his hand, and Rin accepted. Issei. Well Rin, I would like us to be friends. Rin. I say the same Issei. Issei. I currently have a pupil so both of them can train and also be friends. We will go see him for sure he is in trouble. Rem, accompany us on the way, you will tell me why you came without telling me. So the three of them left the office while the leaders shared a drink of alcohol. Issei. So what did you come for, Rem? Rem. Well, you see, Issei, there is a certain matter with one of us. Issei. And that's it. Rem. Ria's sister has returned from her trip and has found out that her mother now lives with you and now requests an audience with you to negotiate so that you leave her mother alone. Issei. Well, let's see what's up with it then. Issei ran into Arata, who was accompanied by Lilith and Ari. Issei. Hey guys, where are you going? Arata. We want to know some things because someone locked us in some kind of collapse or something. Issei. Well, since you are here, Arata, I introduce you to Rin Okamura, a new student. Rin, these are Arata, my student, she is Ari, another student, and she is Lilith. Arata. The hottest teacher in the school, shaking Rin's hand, who gladly accepted it. Lilith. Arata, you shouldn't refer to me like that. Issei. Lilith is right, Arata, haven't you seen my girls? Hahaha, I'm melting just seeing them in their teacher clothes drooling. Rem. Behave affectionately. Issei. I'm sorry. Well, Arata, Rin will be your new roommate, so from now on, get to know each other. I'll be back in a moment so we can train, okay? Arata. Safe sensei. Issei. Okay Rin, whatever happens, Arata will help you, it won't be long, maybe later we can go eat something. Rin. Sure, thanks Issei. Thus Issei disappeared in black fire while now following Arata. In Issei's house. The white-haired boy appeared in his office where his mother was standing next to the desk, Venelana and Ram, not missing Kaneko and Sona, accompanied by Tsubaki, but in front of them was another woman. Issei. I came as soon as possible, sitting on his chair so that Kaneko could sit on his lap now. What are you doing here, Sabana? Samantha. My name is Samantha Grimori, you damn low-class devil, how dare you take my mother? Issei. Let's go back to the same thing, rubbing his face. Listen, your mother is not here because she was forced, but because she is here for two simple reasons. 1, your little sister that you spoiled so much lost a bet, and 2, because your mother is here of her own free will. Samantha. I don't give a shit about that, Issei. I want you to come back to my mom. Issei. Your mom will leave if she wants it, I'm not going to force her to leave either. Chihiro. Not to mention that when he arrived he started breaking some things, he hit some of our maids and Valkyries, and he threatened me. Issei. Did I threaten you? Chihiro. That's right. Issei. Did you do it, Sam? Samantha. That's right, I don't care who this old lady is. Issei. Are you stupid or what? She is the dragon goddess of death, she is on par with the strength of the Great Red, she could kill you with just one finger. Leaving this aside, it was a pleasure to see you, Sam, but I will not allow you to come to my house to threaten my family, beat my people and give me orders. You are nobody before me anymore. Then Alana, you can talk to your daughter and even go see her, but today if I come back and see her here I will kill her. I'm leaving, I still have a class to give. Issei was gone before Samantha could say anything. Chihiro's piercing gaze had her nervous. In academia. When Issei arrived at the academy it was a little strange, he entered it to run into Merlin. Issei. What's wrong, beautiful? Giving her a kiss. Merlin. It seems your student got out of control. Issei. I'm going to see what the hell is going on. Issei followed the trail of magic that Arata emanated until he found the room where he was. When he opened the door he found Arata on the floor, Ari in front of him, and Rin with a sword that emanated blue fire. In front of them was Lilith and 2 other girls. One of them launched herself to hit Arata, saying that she was going to kill him, but before she touched him Issei got in the way, and with his Kagyun, he stopped the kick. Issei. I'm sorry but I won't allow you to touch my student. Everyone was surprised to see how Issei appeared out of nowhere, and he had also stopped one of the strongest attacks of that girl. Issei snapped, and out of nowhere all the collapse magic had stopped, and so he looked at them. Issei. You have many questions to answer me. Who are you? Issei. I don't have to tell you, and take away your pathetic stopping spell, I will show you what one really is. Issei raised his hand, and the 2 girls fell abruptly to the ground. What the hell happened? I didn't even manage to reflect on it. Issei. And you couldn't have done it, so shut up. Lilith, what happened? Weren't you in charge? Lilith. Yes, but. Ari. I'm sorry, sensei, it was my fault. What happened? Issei. I see, well I'll teach you all a lesson. You call yourselves first-class magicians, and you're not just kids with wands. Now everyone follow me as I walk, no excuses please. Releasing the girls. So all the boys from the classes were outside in the big kick, teachers and everything. In the middle of what would be the arena was Issei. Issei. The Trinity 7 please pass me by, and you're in. So those mentioned came to the front while Issei took off the black jacket he was wearing that day, leaving him only in his red shirt and pants, of course. Issei. Attack me with the strongest attack you have. Issei saw how the girl from before made her leg shine brightly, and with a quick movement she was already in front of him, but when she wanted to hit him, Issei stopped her with just one hand. Issei. A simple movement that you always do is predictable. You have nice legs by the way, pulling her by the waist while caressing her leg, Parker style. I'm sorry, but they must be stronger. Issei gave her a single touch in the stomach that sent her crashing into the academy. The ninja girl put a scroll in her mouth and took her small saber to go towards him, but Issei stopped the blade between her fingers. Issei. A simple and fast movement, making it easy to stop. With a double he broke the blade, and with a blow to the face, he knocked the scroll out of his face and sent it to the same fate as the previous one. Rin had his blade in his hand, so he went towards Issei. There was no doubt that Rin was good with the sword, but Issei was even better because with one blow, he knocked the sword out of his hand and grabbed him by the neck. Issei. I'm sorry my friend, you can't always trust your sword. Thus Rin's fate was the same as the previous ones. Now Issei had appeared in front of the two women who were watching him doing his magic attacks. He took them by the neck and raised them. Issei. They take a long time to create a magic attack, it is easy to defeat them in that time. Issei threw them with force to where the others were. Now he felt like something was going to turn him back, and he received the impact. Everyone was surprised by that. Lilith smiled for having hit a blow, but she did not expect Issei to appear behind her. Issei. Great attack, but you need a lot of strength. With one kick he sent her to where the others had been. He activated his booster gear, and from the center of his palm, a seal was created and boom, a great magical attack descended towards the school, destroying it in the process. Issei. Okay, is there any class question? The bucking breaker something. The perfect illuminated sky, clouds moving slowly, a delicious and fresh breeze. What a beautiful and perfect day it was for him. Yes, today Issei had taken a break, and what a more perfect way to do it than spending the whole day with his beautiful fiancées. Yes, the 18 girls were present. I think that's all of them. Why, in addition to Ria's mother and Mocha. They were at the pool while Issei was outside sitting on one of those beach chairs where you lie down enjoying the sun. Yes, Issei enjoyed the beautiful sight of seeing the most beautiful girls in heaven and hell. He saw them swimming, playing with a ball, and while they splashed each other, a trickle of blood came out of his nose, knowing that all those tits and legs were his. But then he received a blow from Sakvara. Sakvara. Stop looking at them like that, you pervert. Issei. Sorry for looking at my fiancée, seeing her wearing a full suit with a sweatshirt. By the way, you look very hexy. Sakvara. Sitting next to him, are you always like this? Hugging him by the neck. Issei. I like to admire her beauty, giving her a kiss on the mouth, and the truth is that you are not far behind. Kaneko. Appearing sitting on Issei's leg, so you'll just tell her that she looks good angry while eating a shaved ice. Issei. Kissing her on the neck, you look good too, kitty. Kaneko smiled, blushing. The other girls looked at this a little jealous, but then Issei carried Sakvara and Kaneko to jump into the water. He played with all of them for a while, until water got into his ear, and he got out to dry off a bit. When he did, he looked at Venelana, who was sitting where he was before. She was wearing a red bikini with a white sweatshirt. She was under the shade of the umbrella that looked really hexy with her hair up. Issei. Tu vas bien, Venelana? Venelana. Yes, well, I know I'm not that young anymore, and my body is not as attractive as the others. Issei. Are you kidding? Getting closer, many would kill to simply touch your body, caressing her legs until reaching her hips. You are a perfect MILF, giving her a kiss on the neck, causing Venelana to blush and a shiver to run through her body. Venelana. Yes, well, I think someone would not allow that. Issei. Of course not, now you are my partner, and only I can touch you. The other girls left the pool to dry off. Issei sat on another chair, while Tsubaki and Penemu sat next to him. Issei. I like how they look with bikini and glasses, hugging them both. Seraphil. Mu. Issei, you don't flatter us that much, pouting. Sakvara. Not to mention you haven't taken us on a date yet. Issei. Well, do you want me to make the food today? Aoka. That would be perfect, blushes. Sona. Since the children will be with their grandparents today, we will be able to have fun. That's how everyone entered. Some maids gave towels to everyone, as well as others went to the kitchen. Issei began to cook different dishes, one for each of his girls, a sweet dish for Kaneko, something balanced for Sona as well as Tsubaki. Zenobia preferred fish, Roswi loved sausages. Bertauka something different because she only ate human flesh, so she raffled it off by cutting off part of her leg and arm. She just gave her a little seasoning, and that's it. So one by one he cooked her what was her favorite. All the girls bathed and got ready because they like to look pretty all the time, so Issei had bought them many things for their care of all kinds. The bathroom was large for all of them, it was elegant and even had hot spring water. There was a room just for their clothes for each one, except for Mocha. While Sakvara had practically moved in with them, ready, they went down to the dining room. Some Issei clones carried the plates, the maid set the cutlery and served wine and coffee. Issei appeared wearing a suit with a wine-colored shirt, as always he did not wear a coat, only a vest. While he was going down the stairs he saw Mocha, but she stopped him. Issei. What's wrong? Mocha. She wants to go out. Issei. Do you want me to go out? Mocha. I like being with you. Issei. I will find a way for both of them to come out and be able to touch them separately. Mocha. I know you'll do it, I trust you. Issei gave her a kiss on the lips while removing the rosary, this time only from a dark glow. The other Mocha had appeared who surrounded the white-haired boy with her arms to deepen the kiss. Mocha. You're not going to sleep tonight, grabbing him by the tie. Issei. Grabbing her by her buttocks. Do you think you can keep up with me? Mocha. We'll find out. Issei took her by the hand and went down to the dining room, already sitting in his place which was the leader's. Seeing all his girls there, he gave them a smile so they all started eating. He gave the order to the maids to eat, thus he sent a clone to eat with them and with the Valkyries who were taking care of the place, although it was useless since they are in limbo, but just in case. Sona. My parents want us to move to the underworld. Issei. And why is that? Tsubaki. They want to be able to see the babies. Issei. I will talk about it with ZykxDragon, as I said before I want the dragon faction to come back to life, and that will do, so well, maybe we are closer. Athena. Speaking of which, do you think we can go back and forth to Olympus? Issei. Why do you ask that? Aphrodite. Because it's a bit tiring to do the work from here. Issei. You don't have to ask my permission for any of that, girls, I don't want you to be here alone when I'm not here. Sakvara. I thought that's what you wanted. Issei. Not at all, my loves. Look, I don't want to be in school, so I'll just finish this year at the wizard school and get to work. Maybe I'll tell ZykxDragon and Hazazel to help me with that. What do you want to do, Kaneko? Kaneko. I would like to open a candy or pastry shop. Issei. Well, with the money I earn from my positions I will send you to build one when you finish studying at the university. How does that sound, kitten? Kaneko. Of course, little dragon eating blushing. Issei. You Sona. Sona. Well, adjusting her glasses, I have always liked medicine and I want to study to be a doctor. Issei. Done, you can be the director of the hospital that will be in the Land of Fire. Sona. Land of Fire. Issei. That's what I'll call our home. Sona. Well, I would love to, my king eating with a little blush. Issei. Tsubaki. Tsubaki. I have always liked law a lot, I would like to be a lawyer. Issei. Well, I don't think it will cost much to open an office, I will pull my strings. Tsubaki. But I would like to do it myself. Issei. And you will, love, I will only be your investor and partner, what do you think? Tsubaki. Well, but I will have my own profits. Issei. Of course, it's obvious, and what would you like, Zenobia? Zenobia. Well, I've always liked gymnastics, and with my sword training I'm very flexible. Issei. Well, at the academy there is a gymnastics club, you can go there and we will see how far you go, I will always support you. Zenobia. Thank you very much, Issei, blushing. Issei. Why bueno, to Roswell. Roswell. When I was with Auden, I always wanted to lead my own squadron, and since you want the dragon faction to be reborn, I think it would be good to have someone protect the family. Issei. Well, then take charge of finding the most powerful warriors to protect the family. Roswell. Count on it. Issei. Well, are you Taka? Taka. Well, I haven't thought about it yet, I guess when I finish college I'll get a good job. Issei. I'm thinking of buying a company, do you want to work alongside me? Taka. I don't want to be something like your employee either. Issei. Not at all, let's be partners. Taka, first buy the company. Issei. How cold, do you want to do something, Gabriel? Gabriel. Well, I have a job in heaven that I must fulfill, but I really like baking. Maybe I could help Kaneko. Kaneko. I'm sure I'll be delighted to work with you, seriously, with stars in my eyes. Issei. What do you say, Seraphil? Seraphil. Well, maybe I'll quit my job as a Mayu and dedicate myself full-time to my program. Issei. That sounds good, as long as you don't leave for too long. Seraphil. Oh, don't worry, honey, I'll be back every day, I want to see our children grow up and I can have Hex with you, smiling. Sakvara. Seraphil Sama be a little more discreet, blushing, adjusting her glasses. Seraphil, what a serious thing, but I remember seeing someone spying on Issei in the shower, putting his finger on his chin. Sakvara. Shut up, blushes hard. Issei. Haha, well, and you, Penemu? Penemu? Well, I really like sports, but it's just a hobby, so maybe I'll work with you if you buy the company. Issei. Who's Kuroka? Kuroka. Maybe, I'm a model, I have the appearance, don't I, honey? Highlighting her breasts. Issei. Of course baby, looking at her you will be the image of my company. Kuroka. I'm fine with that. Issei. You opus. Opus. Eating his meat elegantly. I like computers. Issei. It would be great if you made video games, wouldn't it? Opus. Maybe eating. I'll work on something, but I need equipment. Issei. Tomorrow I will give you everything you need. Opus. Appearing on Issei's lap to the anger of Kaneko, who wanted to do the same. I would really appreciate it, darling. Eating. Maybe I'll take a room in the house. Issei. Rem. Bram. I like to paint. Bram. I design clothes. Issei. Well, I think I already have in mind what we can do in that company of ours. Bala. I will build many things with Kata-chan. Issei. Of course darling, just don't blow up the house. Bala. I don't promise anything. Issei. You have work to do in Olympus, right? Looking at Athena and Aphrodite, who nodded. You can come and go, just don't leave me for too long. Athena. Calm down honey, we'll come every night and take days off like always. Issei. Genial. Aphrodite. Besides, I can't stand to go a long time without hugging you. Appearing behind Issei to hug him. Issei. That's good, and you Mocha? Mocha. She wants to be an athlete, but you know she's not very good at it. Issei. I think they would be very good at mixed martial arts. Mocha. Sounds interesting, maybe I'll try it. Issei. My Janisa has a big job, right? Janisa. Yes, but I get bored so I'll be here very often. Issei. Is that cool Merlin? Merlin. Well, I already like teaching magic and I can continue with my research. Issei. You will be the best teacher and you're Sakvara. Sakvara. But you are interested. Issei. Well, maybe I'll decide to wear a shirt more often in addition to closing the bathroom with magic. Sakvara. I like gardening, so shut up already. They all laughed at that, so the dinner passed happily. Then Alana had said that she would like to manage the company and the family, even the faction, so the group would end, and between kisses, they began to go up to their room, but before they could enter a maid called Issei. Maid. Issei-sama, excuse me, but a letter arrived that says it is very important. Blushed because inside Seraphil and Kuroka were undressing and kissing Merlin. Issei. Taking the envelope. Thanks beautiful, you can go. The maid left blushing while Issei read the letter. Then he changed his clothes. In an elegant suit, obviously without the jacket, he put on a hat and adjusted his watch. Bram. What's wrong? Issei. There is trouble in the underworld, we must leave. Sona. Issei, you said you would be with us all day. Angry while Taka took off her bra. Issei. Sorry my queen, I will go quickly. I will kill whoever causes problems and I will return, I swear. Sakvara. More, you better come back soon, she said while Kaneko stuck a ginger in her vagina, or maybe Kaneko will steal my virginity. Issei. I'll be back, I don't want any Hildas. Did you hear Kuroka? Kuroka. Yes, it's okay burning her Hildu. Issei. Come on, Rem, the faster we go, the faster we'll come back. Bram. Okay, leaving Opus's vagina. Bram, will be Zenobia later getting dressed. Thus the three of them disappeared in flames while the other girls were disappointed, but as soon as Kuroka and Seraphil got their fingers to work, they would anxiously wait for Issei. In the underworld. Issei appeared at the entrance of the Gremory mansion where a maid was already waiting for him. They sent him straight to the room where the elders of the council were, and he thought it would be something better, but already. When they arrived at the room they saw the old men sitting at the top. In front of him were Serziches, his wife Graphia, Samantha, as well as at least 50 women, adults and young people. Issei. Can you tell me what's going on? I was about to do it with my girls, so talk quickly, they're waiting for me. Serziches. You see Issei, some women here are unhappy with some things about the governance system we have, among other things. Issei. Why did you call me at all? Serziches. Well, I thought you could talk to them. Issei. Can't you talk to a mere mew? Serziches. They are current feminists. Issei. You did well in calling me. Well, I'll see what I can do. Walking until he was in front of the women. Let's see what's going on here. M1. You see, it's that you. Issei. Yes, I already know what you're going to say. They are like factory made, they all look alike, but come on, tell me, they are motivated by humans, right? M34. That's how they are. Issei. They don't even know what they're talking about, all they do is repeat words they heard from other people who with an air of knowledge say that if they investigate properly before, raise your hand if you have a boyfriend, brother or father. They all raised their hands. Issei. Well, have any of them forbidden them to do something? They all denied exactly, because machismo in the underworld is only followed by imbecile men who do not know how to appreciate them. M53. What about women who are beaten? M25. And those murdered? Issei. Well, if a woman is beaten and does not get away from that person, I think that is where you should intervene, instead of trying to do strikes, demonstrations or similar cases. I think it would be better if you motivated those women who are beaten to take courage and report, to speak. There will always be murdered women, as well as men. I am not saying that it should be given less importance, but I am not saying that burning premises, cars or hitting security personnel are proposing the extinction of the human being. The correct thing would be peaceful demonstrations, letting the authorities do their job correctly. M18. But what if they don't do anything? Issei. And the fact that you do more harm than good is worse. You should also pressure the authorities to do justice, but here it applies that violence generates more violence. True feminists sought equality with men, not that women be placed above men. That one gender is above another is complete idiocy, so let's set a good example for the new generations. So they realize that a woman and a man can do the same things. M53. But what about the jobs where women are paid less for doing the same thing as a man? Issei. Then it has to be reported. Things like that are not so common anymore, but you say that women are given fewer opportunities, but let's see, how many of you dreamed of being bricklayers or janitors? None raise their hands. Men don't dream of that either, but out of 1,000 people not all will be able to be doctors, astronauts or presidents. Women and men have the opportunity for which they strive. If you have a company and you have to hire a person and you come with a man and a woman, the man studied 8 years at Harvard, has a doctorate and 5 years of experience. The woman barely finished high school and has no experience. Obviously the most prepared person will be chosen, regardless of gender. That's how without things. M13. I don't answer anything about that. Issei. But I put them in context. It's not the 80s anymore. You have to prepare for your future, not waste your time looking for the third leg of a cat. If you want things to change, let it all start with yourselves. Go out, take the world with your hands, and strive to achieve what you want. Samantha, and the men who only see us as sexual objects. Issei. Then those men do not deserve them. We all want to be good and nice, because we all know that to see the heart we are all blind. Look for that person who loves you for what you are, and not for how you look. Be yourself. That person will come who will not see your qualities, but will see your defects, and still take you by the hand and encourage you. Come on, go out and tell the world. Here I am and I will be happy. The happy women left. Issei took Ram and Ram by the hands, who were crying when they saw Issei. He was an incredible man and too perfect, so they left that room and appeared in the room where the other girls launched themselves at Issei to grape him. Let me know in the comments below if you guys want the next part. Also check out my other video that has been shown and left. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this video please like and share this video. And have a fantastic day. Bye.